Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Vizlib Appy Hour. We have a special episode today featuring Climber and a representative from Baker Tilly. Jan-Willem and Jordy, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, we'll get started with a few things as people kind of start streaming in. One of the things you guys, we talked about this backstage was, it's Appy Hour. Jane's in the background too, so we always have a drink. Sometimes it's a fruity juice. It might be a beer. I'm going for coffee today. It gets green screened out usually. Ooh, a nice green cup too. So you have your drinks. Feel free to take sips as you need to. Jane's in the background, but we should really start recording what people drink on the show. We could build a whole app around that, I feel like, of just people's choices. But Jan-Willem, do you want to introduce us to your role at Baker Tilly? Tell us a little bit about Baker Tilly as well for people that won't know, and where you're based, all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm Jan-Willem van Essen, Senior Manager IT Advisory within Baker Tilly in the Netherlands. Baker Tilly is a traditional accounting firm with also an advisory part, and I'm working for the IT advisory department, and we are helping our customers, external and internal, with data solutions and all kind of IT questions around it. But for now, today, I'm here to tell something about our data solutions and which we are delivering to our internal colleagues, like our financial auditors.
Okay. So big financial accountancy, and you guys are in Sweden, but I've heard Baker Tilly name in many different countries, right? So it's a gigantic company at the top level, right?
Yeah, it's an international firm with all kind of offices in all kind of countries. And I'm based in the Netherlands. Right now I'm in Utrecht. And we are serving customers in the Netherlands, but from the network all around the globe.
Awesome. Nice. Thanks for coming. And Jordy, we've worked together for a number of years, even when I was at Qlik.
Yes,
we ran into each other when you were at Climber. So you want to tell us a little bit about your background and then connect us to how you're working with Baker Tilly as well.
Yeah, so I work at Climber as a BI Manager. Do this now for a couple of years. It's really cool. Besides indeed having to develop Qlik dashboards with our customers, we also are a partner of Vizlib. We, as Climber, also designed our own extensions a while back.
Yes.
But now they're all acquired by Vizlib, so we have the custom reports and such, and we help customers on literally every day. We help them with their Vizlib objects, so that's going really well. That's also how we know, of course, Baker Tilly. They also develop their Qlik dashboards also for their external, but also internal customers, and they use Vizlib, and we are the reseller, one of the resellers here in the Netherlands, and we are the reseller then to Baker Tilly. So that's why, how Jan-Willem and I have known each other.
That's interesting. We'll definitely, I want to touch on that part a little later of the external clients that you have too, and maybe where Qlik and Vizlib help brand things. I don't know if you're doing much around that, but we'll talk about that. So I'm already getting excited. I have questions to ask that we didn't even talk about before. So this is live. I guess one of the things I want to start with too, and I'll ask everybody, and that's what's your favorite data visualization chart? If you had, and it can be something wild, crazy, something that you've seen, maybe even you haven't used. We'll go, Jordy, you're looking up into the ether.
Yeah.
We'll go with you first.
It's a good one. Yeah, I make a lot of them on a daily level, but I think I do love Sankey charts, although I don't even use them that often.
Yeah,
they're so cool in how you can just visualize from where things start and where things are going. It's just an amazing thing that I want to use on the daily level, but not always. I'm maybe often stuck with bar charts and line charts and also tables, because that's what customer wants. So
you got it. Jan-Willem?
Yeah, also the Sankey chart, I have an example of that later on today.
Yes.
But I'm a financial, so the pivot table, it's the most used visualization in our department. But there are several fancy visualizations, but the the key question is, okay, how do I use him so that my end user is recognize the data directly instead of doing all kind of difficult things and other solutions around it.
Excellent. Yeah, the people are writing in the comments like the Meco chart, which is I appreciate and I don't use that much. One, I haven't figured out a great use case. So David, if you want to maybe even explain in the chat, like, do you have an example? If you can share a screenshot even. I'm not sure if you can share that, but in the chat, but I would love to learn more about how you're using Meco charts. For me, it's funny, I didn't know this. Mine is the sand key as well. So that's a three for the sand key. Jane knows that. I talk about sand key all the time. The second question, I don't know if I have this one queued up, but it is, you have your favorite chart. What is the kind of the default thing when you open up something from scratch? What's the first visualization, first chart that you put on the screen?
Ooh, that would be a table, I guess. Just
table
looking at the data looks. Yeah. That's like a one-on-one. If I don't use like a table, but more a bigger extension would be the Climber report or the custom report. That would be, I think, one of the first to just put everything in, because it's a bit easier than the table, because you can just select your dimensions, select your expressions, and slice and dice the data, which makes it a bit easier to just do some random checks. That if you have a normal table or a pivot table, then you have to add it or make a conditional formula, and that's a bit harder. So for me, then the best extension would be the custom report. It's
awesome. Yeah, we're in agreement there. Jan-Willem, is it a pivot table?
No, I will always start with a standard filter box, because then I can double click on the on all the fields that I need, and then I can fast enter and then translate it to a table or other visualizations. But I always start with a standard filter box, put it on my whole page, and then enter all the fields I need.
Or Qlik view style.
Yeah.
We got another CJ. Scatterplot's his favorite chart. Rich communication in a small area, and you can technically manipulate it to show other types of charts. Ooh, that's it. Oh yeah, I've done that before. I don't know if I have it ready, but I did like an ice hockey rink, and I put the players as the dots and move them around. It's scatter plot, but it's also like a very specific sports visualization. Oh, this is for the Meco chart. David is saying you want to see the spend by time and location, and each location contributes overall. And you tend to flatten this stuff out, maybe see big pockets of things.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I need to use that more often. So things will continue to pop in. Maybe give us something else to chat about there. But yeah, I agree. I start with, I've gone back and forth based on these episodes of what do I put on the screen first. It's normally I want to know the data. So a table is like, that's how I can see the shape of some of that. Alexis likes the tree map there. I've tried starting directly with the sand key, but you really have to know the data, right?
That's
It's interesting, Jan. I'm like, I take that for granted that you can just search for anything in Qlik and start seeing the associations and then build from that. Is that kind of how you're doing it? Like, oh, I'm going to select this region or this department and then see these things, and that leads you down what chart you build next?
No, I think it depends on the question I need to answer.
Okay.
Where do I start and where do I go to?
So you don't even need other charts. You're just asking questions with all of the data that's there.
Yeah.
Just with filters. That's stuff I learned like first few days at Qlik. I'm like, oh, I haven't used that in a while. Huge fans of sand keys, Pareto charts, KPIs.
Pareto's a good one.
Always the first step for Adam here is put a big KPI on the screen. Let you know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Like the idea.
I feel like you have to know a lot about the data to do that, though, right? First, if the custom report's interesting because you could, and I don't know if any of you want to show anything too, but we'll get to that in a little bit. If you do have a custom report, there might be people that don't know what that is. So
Yeah,
we'll
we
show
can
that.
maybe
But
have a look.
before, I want to remind people, we just started doing this last week, and that is we're going to do a couple of giveaways during the episode. And so if you type into the chat, whether you're watching this on LinkedIn or YouTube, type in hashtag Baker Tilly, and it'll enter you into a drawing. About halfway through, we'll do a drawing for the first winner. And it might be a Vizlib box. I'll show you our merchandise page. And then towards the end, we'll do another drawing. And Climber has graciously offered to ship a gift as well. Don't worry, we'll figure out the logistics of how to get it to you wherever you are in the world. And we'll help out with that. We're pros at shipping stuff from and to every country at this point. But use Baker Tilly throughout. It'll automatically enter you in. I see the number of entries is going up, so that's great. We know it's working. And a quick preview. I think this is the first time it's been shown publicly, but we have a store. We not only make data visualization extensions, we also make shirts, mugs, and socks. I know these are super popular. So,
is this the tiles object?
I don't know. I didn't build it, so I would have used tiles. It's actually good. It's a Shopify page, so I think it's probably just images. But we'll give you a voucher. One of the giveaways will be a voucher to go on a miniature shopping spree on the Vizlib store. So we'll save that. There's some good stuff out here. Vizlib employees usually get good crack at this stuff. So I can say I'm a big fan of the socks, high quality. Although I haven't been to many conferences lately, so I'm honestly I'm barefoot right now is how I work from home. So maybe you didn't need to know that. But keep entering. We'll bring that back up at different points in time. I'll remove that from the screen. And we'll get into the meat of it. So a couple of the things it would be good to understand, Jan-Willem and Jordy, how you guys work together, and what were some of the big challenges that you guys threw Qlik at, and saw some really good insights being shared. This was a mind shift. We changed our business. And then how did you use Vizlib later on to take it to the next level, to push with adoption? Like, what's that journey like for you guys been?
Yeah, I think that we've used Qlik View, and in Qlik View you can see all your sheets. For example, you can do a horizontal selection bar, and that's where it started, with the horizontal selection bar from Climber.
Wow.
Climber has built that extension, and we have used that a lot. And when a Climber was taken over by Vizlib, we saw that there were much more extensions that we can use, because we have a data factory. That's how we call Qlik Sense and all the stuff around it. And we are processing more than 1,500 apps through the year. My financial colleagues need to see in one second, okay, the data which I want to use, is it correct? Is it useful? Which selections can I make? All that kind of stuff. And standard with Qlik, you can see a lot, you can do a lot, but with Vizlib you can make it a lot easier, like the menu bar you can use, like the Sankey chart, like the KPIs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And that was the moment that I contacted Climber. Okay, you're in the Netherlands. Please help us with all those different extensions.
So you guys have been using it for a while then, even when it was Climber extensions?
Yeah,
and
I
then
think since
that's what I was using
years.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was using it at Qlik as well, out in the field. Like, I need to show something a little different, and custom report was definitely out there. And because I started on Qlik View, I knew I wanted buttons along the top for selections and not just a drop-down filter box. Yeah. And so, horizontal selection bar as well was one that I started baking into everything, because it was where you could guide people through something, and they don't have to go hunt for the name of the month that you're always going to use, or the years that are really common ones. That's funny that's the one that you guys kind of started with. Yeah. Is that because you came from Qlik View, or was there another BI product that was kind of unseated by Qlik? Okay.
Yeah, no, from Qlik View. The users were used to work with Qlik View, so with the horizontal selection option, And my developers, when the switch go from Qlik View to Qlik Sense was there, my developers say, okay, we get a lot of questions. Okay, where do I need to do the selections based on the year or the period or whatever?
Yep.
And they said, okay, we find an extension, and can we use that? And at that time, I was very enthusiastic about the extension, but not about the whole extension idea, because when Climber says, okay, we don't develop the extension anymore, then we have a problem. And if I have done more than thousands apps with that extension in it, then I have a huge problem.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I'm happy that it is by Climber, by Vizlib right now. So I know that it's always supported. And if there is any issue, I can call Jordy or the team from Climber. Okay, I have a problem right now. And they know that we need to have support right away. And that's one of the kind of things I love about the relationship between Big and Climber and Vizlib, of course.
Yeah, that's huge. It's funny. Martin is in the chat. Martin Mahler, CEO of Vizlib. Obviously is very close to Climber as well and was part of the acquisition of the technology side. And I'm not sure if people know, but in Sweden, right, the Climber office is also where the Vizlib office is kind of contained. You guys are, I don't know how close you are. If you can throw something and hit Michael when you're in the office. I haven't been there for many years. And I think at that point, I don't even know if it was called Vizlib at Climber. But there's a really close relationship we guys have. That's awesome. You guys have been around for a while. On the, do you have anything, Jan-Willem, that you wanted to share too? We try to show stuff visual where we can on Appy Hour, and I know.
I can share my screen to show one example which we have built with the Vizlib extensions.
I'll get that banner out of the way.
Yeah.
And then let me know when you're ready, and I'll.
Yeah, I'm ready.
There we go.
I cannot see my screen anymore. I only see Qlik Sense right now.
Yes, we see Baker Tilly with like a greenish bar at the top and thumbs up and a really bad thumbs down. But I don't.
And those are all KPIs, Vizlib visualizations. And you see the thumbs up and the thumbs down are really easy to read for my colleagues. And you also see direct the menu bar on top, where you can search all around all the sheets that are in there. I don't know if my connection is working properly, but here my colleagues can see right away what is happening with the data, what is in the data. Is the data good, or do I need some action to do? So that's the first visualization which is in there. And
do people check this? Like, this is just, they have it open, it's a tab, they look at this, and this is changing every so often? Like, do you have this refresh regularly that it's pretty actionable?
No, in this case, it's financial data used for the financial audit. So we retrieve the data once a year. And my colleagues can easily see, okay, can I use the data? What is the data quality from the data I received? So that I have a thumbs for. So in this case, transaction on more than one period or journal, no, there aren't. But some transactions are not equal. So that's why the thumbs down. And I can click on it and can go to the transactions that are not equal, so that I can analyze, and I will go to another sheet. But my connection is not working properly because I cannot click on anything.
Yeah, we see the mouse moving, but understandable. Yeah. I mean, this helps frame it up. So you will brand all of your apps, I imagine, using the sheet menu at the top.
Yeah.
And I see it just in the URL too. You call it the data factory. So you've renamed Qlik Sense effectively to the data factory, and that's how people know it?
No, people know that it is Qlik Sense because they are starting in the hub, and then they can find their own dashboard right there. And then they go into this and they see the logo on top, because we can also give customers access to the dashboards to analyze their own data.
Yeah.
But normally, you can see the data for your own appointment.
So if I understand it correctly, your teams will go out there, they run an extensive audit of an organization. Then the data factory team back at Baker Tilly organizes it, arranges it, puts it into an application that the customer, then the client, can go back and see how did we do on our audit, where are the areas we need to look into. So you're feeding back this information through an interactive Qlik Sense application.
Yeah, and it's fully automated. So my financial audit colleagues upload the audit file, so the data, into a portal, and then Qlik Sense on the back end with all the API possibilities, processing and generating this dashboard based on the template with the on-demand app generation. So that's why we can
that's cool.
do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Jordy,
nice.
are your fingerprints all over this app? Like, did you pick the thumbs up, thumbs down type of case?
No. So Jan-Willem, they're pros themselves, so they develop their applications also in-house. So for this part, we only deliver like the software from Vizlib. So we make sure that they can work with it. If they have any questions or there are any bugs or anything needs to be reported, we communicate back with Vizlib. But Jan-Willem and his team, they are doing all the development work. And of course, we also have skills in-house. So if they have any questions, they could also parlay with us, and that's always possible. But no, I haven't done anything to this application. But I was wondering, what kind of extensions did you use from? Because I do see the sheet menu, of course, on top for the people that maybe don't know all the Vizlib extensions. So with the sheet menu, you did the rebranding, right?
Yep.
And is it the KPI object itself, or is it the KPI designer you used for the thumbs ups and thumbs down?
No, it's a KPI object themselves, and I don't know why I cannot access the analysis, but there are the pivot table from Vizlib, and that the reason why we are using the pivot table is because you can move over with your mouse, and then it's highlighted the line which you're in. So if you have a huge pivot table, then you can easily see all the figures that are belonging to that specific line.
Yeah.
Also, the sort order for the pivot table, it's really easy to use. You can just click on it, and then the sorting will be different.
Yeah.
The Sankey chart, for example, we are using. And
maybe if you're able to show it, I'll remove that stream. If you refresh your browser, maybe, and see if it comes back. Sometimes it does that. Chrome always has some fun because the stream actually takes up a good amount of resources on your computer.
Yeah, if you can share my screen again.
Voila.
Cool.
There we go.
Then you can see the Sankey chart and the menu is working. So I don't know what's happening. But in this case, my financial colleagues do want to know, okay, what are the costs and where it's coming from? And normally you have to select the general ledger type and then see the journal type, etc. And in this case, by one click, I can see it. And now it's 2 dimensions, but we also have for our SAP colleagues have 3, 4, 5 dimensions, which you can use. And you just by clicking on it, we are discovering the data. And that's for us and for my financial colleagues, it's very easy to use. Just clicking around, making some print screens, telling them the selections they have used, and then they are ready to use it in their audit file.
Do you need a lot of training? If you have probably you have new users coming and going, of course, because they switch jobs or get from a different department. Yeah, are they quickly used to using this, or?
No, it's really easy to use. Yeah, you need, what I'm looking through, but in most cases, they are knowing the customer, they are knowing the data, so they can really easy use Qlik Sense for their work.
Yeah, cool. 2 questions. I mean, the scan key for one is somewhat of an advanced chart. So there was a question earlier, like, hey, do you have t-shirts with the sand key? I think it's hilarious. Like, it's a cool looking visualization, but it's one where you have to interact with it, I think, to get the value out. You want to see the flows, you want to click on those things. So it's only useful when you're interacting with it. And then Martin says in the second one of that top menu, how important is it that people know and are familiar with this? And I imagine when you send this off to a new client, you're teaching them how to step through the audit application and review their data, versus here's just a drop down and, go to the 30-second sheet. You've developed that menu intentionally for people, right? Like,
yeah, it's something we have built out step by step. And nowadays we just send it out, and if they are coming in through the dashboard, they already know, okay, this is where I need to be to navigate through the application.
Yeah.
And we don't give them a manual or whatever. They're just finding out by themselves. For people who know Qlik Sense saying to me, okay, where is my sheet menu here on the top? We said, no, we hide it because we don't want you to use that. Also, because all of those sheets I now navigate through.
You clicked on that thumbs up and it takes you to the detail.
And this sheet is hidden. So normally I cannot go to that sheet through the menu. I just only can access the sheet by clicking on the thumbs up.
Okay.
And that normally I cannot do that in an easy way. And now I just taken that sheet up in the menu, and then it isn't there for the user.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, good opportunity.
So are you guys getting assistance? Do you have, this is different to me than, an a BI analyst creating an app. This is app design. There's user experience. I imagine you've baked into this now. You want them to click these things like buttons. Do you have specific people that have those skills, or did you just grow this over time? Like, this is just, it's better if we do it this way, and you've built this UX kind of flow to things.
Yeah, we started with a question mark or a cross if it wasn't fine. And we said, okay, we can build a very nice application. So we tried thumbs up, thumbs down with the color, and asked some colleagues, okay, do you know what we mean if we do this or that? And that's why we are built this visualization right now.
Wonderful. Let's see. We're really close to halfway through, and I wanted to remind people to enter Baker Tilly into the chat so we can do the giveaway in a little bit, and then towards the end too. But I want to take some questions too from the audience. The financial data side of Qlik Sense, it's huge in the industry. When I was at Qlik, that was one of the largest industries, was the finance and accounting and insurance sectors. And so you mentioned the pivot tables. Are you still, people want to export to Excel because it's still comfortable, or have you been able to move people over? And I think a question here from Yama was just around the Sankey chart. It's not good if you want to print it, but it's great to interact. Yeah. But we'll turn those off. It's, do you still have people wanting to export to Excel because of comfort?
They need to export it to Excel for their file, for their audit file.
Okay.
But in most cases, we said to our colleagues, okay, you only need to export the information you need. So please don't go to the detail sheet, right click and export all. No, just go to the financial overview, just pick the number you want.
Yeah.
Or just go to another pivot table and just click on this general ledger account and only export the information from that line and not from all the other information.
Very interesting. Yeah, I know what we'll never get away from it. People wanting to get to Excel, but it's that you've gotten them comfortable, and then maybe they're gravitating more to this. I don't need that except for bookkeeping storage purposes. I will interact with it here, get to that slice I need, and then do something with it. Perfect. Well, let's remind people, very important for a company. Melissa's in here. We will not create new applications without this. And I don't know if she's referencing the sheet menu at the top for guiding people, or a pivot table.
I guess she is. I
Maybe
guess
a
she's referring to the
Sankey.
sheet menu also. I've seen one of her apps indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I make heavily use of this.
Well, if Melissa's still there, I'm not sure what you were referencing there, but it might be that top level thing that Martin mentioned earlier, the sheet menu. Perfect. So let's, I'll just take your screen out real quick here and swap back over. So remember, you can type in Baker Tilly. I'll give everybody 5 to 10 more seconds to type it in. And we have a good amount of people already. There's 27 of you. If you haven't typed in Baker Tilly, you can't compete in this first drawing. So put your name in. Just type hashtag Baker Tilly. And I'll see if we get one more person. There's a delay in LinkedIn, so I have to give a little bit of time just to be fair.
no problem.
All right, are we going to get one more? I'll type in just to show you that it is live. So I'm in the LinkedIn session. I'm not eligible. There's Jan-Willem. Let's go in there. Mine failed to post. Oh, okay. We got some more in. So let's hit it.
Oh, nice.
We're going to say that Qlik and Vizlib employees are not eligible, but Baker Tilly employees are good. Yeah, they could win.
I think they are.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I see more coming in. Anders is here. It looks like someone from Qlik rang you because I mentioned Excel. Sorry. Yeah. That's why my phone was going off. Okay. We're going to pause that and we're going to run a drawing right now. Completely random. You can't stack the deck. You only get one entry. And Alexis, I'm not familiar with Alexis. Does he work at Qlik?
No, he doesn't work at Qlik.
All right, he's a legitimate winner. Congratulations, Alexis. I'll screenshot this so we don't forget. And then we'll reach out to you afterwards to get your contact information and get you a gift from Vizlib and or Qlik.
Nice, congrats.
Perfect. We'll come back towards the end again. Vizlib merchandise shop. Martin shared some other link. I'm not going to pull it up, but we do have Sankey shirts apparently. So we'll get them entered in here so people can go get a nice Sankey on a shirt. I really want that now, and I don't remember seeing one. So very interesting. Congrats, Alexis. Perfect. So we'll come back to that in a little bit. I guess let's see where we're at. So a couple other questions that I wanted to make sure we cover. Actually, I went through most of the ones that I had. We got into a couple of things, but did you get to a point where I'm curious about this, like when you made the cut over to ClickSense, how long that took, and did you then find Qlik like months after you had ClickSense, and you're like, I need these things from QlikView? Because early days, that's what Qlik and Vizlib were. Just everybody was picking it up because we needed to fill some gaps. Or did you say, we already knew we liked Qlik, we were using it, and so as soon as we rolled out ClickSense, like that horizontal selector was part of it. Does it go that far back?
No, when we migrate from QlikView to ClickSense, I know already Vizlib from the connections in that year. So we know that there was something called Vizlib. And I think we are migrated from QlikView to ClickSense in a couple of weeks. And
that's quick.
Yeah, it's very quick.
Yeah,
it like a full cutover. Like we're not doing QlikView anymore.
Yeah, no, just rip it off, rip the bandit off, because if you let it go next to each other, then people still using QlikView and always complaining about ClickSense. So we said no, ClickSense is the solution.
Yeah.
Just use it. And I think really quick after the launch of ClickSense for the Data Factory internal, we discovered the horizontal selection bar from Climber, and we gonna use it. And
this
because
was
of
still on the Qlik branch, right? At that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And I think 2 years ago, we switched from the standard Vizlib online versions to the Vizlib offline version because of the amount of users that are using the extensions in the same time at the same moment. So that's where we also received some support from Climber. Oh, you are gathering some delay because of the amount of data which was in there. And they said, okay, then you need to go to the offline option. And so that's why we are able to do that amount of data and that amount of apps. Because some of the data, some of the apps have data in it from SAP, and then you are talking about 10 million or more on rows. And if you have 3, 4, 5 SAP customers, then you know how much that will ask from your Vizlib and connections.
I think that's big. I don't often hear of organizations that, like you said, rip the Band-Aid off real fast. Just said, we're doing the full cutover. We still today work with dozens, if not 100+ organizations that have a very sizable QlikView deployment for specific purposes, and it's still an awesome product. I still have it installed on my desktop because I have old QlikView apps that I like, and I try to replicate them where I can and move stuff over. But just to say, hey, we're going to standardize on this, and we're going to maybe work differently, but use all these tools that we have at our disposal. One question, is the horizontal selector bar you mentioned still available?
It is. I think it still is, but the only thing that
selection bar, right?
Selection bar is going to be faded out, of course, because there's going to be a new one. Or there is a new one already. It's the Vizlib toolbar that has way more functionalities. And
here's the thing. I really like these ones, right? Of the dates and years, in particular, the region. And then the toolbar you mentioned. I really like this one now too that we've started to roll out. So more customization features, making it look a little bit more like a website. You don't have to go full dark mode, of course. But switches, dials, things, images in there as well. And then this really nice expand, although we made the button enormous. It's kind of like the old QlikView thing where you'd have a show and hide of all of the selectors that you wanted, all those filters that you put on your screen, Jan-Willem. Just hide it behind one little button in the toolbar and pop it open, lay it out the way that you want. Because this, I still use this a lot, but this can be very overwhelming. This is very data-centric, the one that's built in.
Yeah.
So don't give them every single field, but maybe design it such that they can pick drop downs. They can change the slider, pick a couple months. It's a lot easier to use, I think, than just here's all of the data. So it's the Vizlib toolbar. Selection bar is what horizontal selection bar became. But it's all part of Vizlib self-service, which still has elements of Climber in the code. They still live on, the ghosts and things like that, and the team, of course, that are working on this. So does the amount of sheets in a QlikSense app still matter when you use the sheet menu?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's just, of course, you don't want to have 5 different tabs with 10 a number of sheets, of course, underneath them. So if you have 50 sheets, of course, it doesn't really matter, but it could be pretty overwhelming, of course, still. But it's better to organize with sheet menu. Keeps it way cleaner instead of selecting indeed the sheet overview and then see 50 sheets. It's not doable, of course. This is indeed better. So I would say it's less important now.
Do you ever just put a select few sheets in the sheet menu at the top and then allow them to get to the dozens of other ones just through the dropdown? Like, here's the organization. It's not everything, but it's the main things we want you to work on. And go over here and you can select the rest if there's a really detailed page you need. Like, you don't have to put everything in there, right?
No. We are working with some options. If you have a customer that doesn't have some purchase or sales department, then you can hide the different purchase or sales sheets, but they are still in there.
Yeah.
So we have some audit where they doesn't look to a purchase data, and then we hide it, but the sheets are there because we
They're
are
still
using
there.
one a template application,
Oh, yeah, of course.
and then they
And that's your thumbs up, thumbs down. You were saying, if I caught that, you could only get to the page if you click that button. It wasn't in the top toolbar drop down.
No.
That's I hadn't thought about using it like that. Like they're still there, but we're using the sheet menu to intentionally hide sheets that might not make sense to show. Like they're still there, they're valuable, and there's not a security reason you're hiding it. It's just that it doesn't make sense to how you're using the data in the application, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good question, Christian. Let's see. I want to see if we missed any other ones. Jane's been pretty good about throwing these in. Lots of things about the shirts and sand keys. How is this? I'm curious because we have you on the spot. This wasn't a question I think you guys have known I was going to ask, and that is, how do you feel about our release schedule? Like sometimes we were releasing things, and I feel it. I work at Vizlib. If I go away on a holiday for a week, I come back, and there is all these new updates to extensions and new things that came out, and sometimes a brand new extension, like tiles released when I was on vacation, and I'm like, oh, I kind of wanted to see this get released. I really want to use this. Do you ever get overwhelmed at how fast we release stuff, or is that okay? Like you like the pace, and you guys will take the updates when you need them?
Yeah, we are using the offline option. So we only update when we want to update. So we update first on our test environment, and then we'll test the visualization and then update. And I think it's really cool to do it in that pace, because then every time you came back from a holiday, there is a new option or there is a new visualization. So I will ask my colleagues almost daily, okay, look if there are some extensions which we can use or try out or whatever, or see the new options that are there. And sometimes you have to look very good to find the new feature in some extension or whatever. But I think it's really cool and taking it to the next level for my end user and for my developers.
Do you update things out of order? So let's say toolbar gets a great feature and you guys are on an older version. Do you just go download the toolbar extension and update it? Or do you say, we're going to take a downtime. Hey guys, wait 3 months because we're going to update everything all at once. Because if you have the library, you have self-service, there's, I should know the number. When we change it, we just released 2 new ones, like 38 plus 40 different things you could update all at once, or you could go one by one. Like, do you say every 3 months, every 6 months, or maybe every Qlik update, every major Qlik release, you're going to update Vizlib extensions? Like, how often are you doing that?
It depends on the kind of extension we are using, because some of the extensions we are using very highly, and then you want to update only that extension because you want to have a new option or whatever, and then I only download that extension. But in some cases, we need to update all the extensions because of the new license or because of some other things. And then we always start testing it on a test environment and then deploying it to our production. And that's also one of the things Climber takes the lead and sent me an email. Hey, Jan-Willem, watch out, your license is to be expiring. So you need to replace all the extensions. Otherwise, the user is receiving an error. Okay, the license is expired. So,
Jan-Willem, you're on vacation. Please come back. Everybody's going to be really mad. All the pivot tables won't work.
So that's why I'm very happy with the cooperation with Jordy and his team. So
they're watching out for you. Yeah, that's really cool.
We have to. No, but I also like the schedule, and also what I especially like, and of course, especially at the beginning of Vizlib when Martin started, of course, then there wasn't such a big team as there is right now. So you have way less developers, but also way more bugs, of course, in the data. But having to report bugs, but also having feature requests, this goes really fast. So for an example, we had a colleague of mine develop an app on Tuesday where we use the shape menu, but you have the shape menu plus right now.
Yes.
And we saw that with a release, you still had the edit button in the top corner. It couldn't be moved away. So, but we asked for the future, and this morning we got the update of, hey, your problem is fixed.
Yeah.
And now the problem is fixed. So it only took 2 days. So that's also one thing. Both feature requests and bugs can be communicated really quickly with the Vizlib team. You can just talk to the developers themselves. So especially us as a reseller, of course, I can just schedule a call with them, say, hey, this is not going well. This is the Qlik version that I'm using, or this is the browser that I'm using. And then we can test fairly quickly and have a solution out, maybe even by the end of the week. And if not, then it's the next week. And that's also for us as Climate, the reason why we stay connected with Vizlib, because even though maybe not everything is perfect, nothing is perfect, of course, but we can handle and get to solutions really quickly. And that's one thing we really like. And also what our customers like, because if they have requests, we can put them to Vizlib, we can discuss them, see how eligible they are, and if people really want to use it, if there are more customers, and if so, it could be done in days or weeks.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. Yeah, your experience with that too. And me, as I said, being here, I will bring up things sometimes too. Oh, I wish we could do this. What if in tiles we could edit something this way? And then I hear from the team, or I chat with Michael, the PM for it, and he goes, yeah, it's already there. We're in design. It's in this server. Go test it out. We're about to release it next week. I just had the idea. How did you guys know? Oh, we heard it from other people. We needed it then. Yeah. So we take a lot of that into consideration really quickly. And it'd be great. Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. But if you have any feature requests you guys want, we should ask now, because now you have a captive audience. I know Martin's watching, so you can push it through maybe. But also, and jokingly, but with, midsummer coming up, I know some people will be taking off time. So it'd be great to get your feature requests now, and maybe we get it in before the summer hits. Do you have anything big that you're like, I really wish Vizlib would figure this out, whether it's a new visualization or some capability you want in the existing stuff?
We have a lot of customers, of course, also switching to SaaS, to Qlik Cloud.
Yeah.
And I know you guys are working on it, but having right back getting in SaaS, that I think there's a test version maybe somewhere. I don't have it yet, but I would really like to have, because I have quite a couple of customers that are using Qlik Cloud and want to use right back heavily.
Alexis also wants it as well. That's right. It's not in test. It's actually released. It's done. We have it live.
How can I not know this?
We have documentation that just was recently updated. So we'll get that out. But yeah, you guys can start putting it in place today. There's a few things. You have to open up more ports and whitelist stuff. Of course, like there's a bit more configuration to make it work with SaaS. But we have the Vizlib Management Council to manage this entire deployment now, and it works with SaaS.
Nice. So, that's really good to hear.
Yeah, we got it out. That was easy. Now give us one that we have to work on.
Yeah. I see Christian is mentioning the multi-bar chart.
Multi-bar chart. That's
different.
That's not Power BI do this chart. One. I wonder what you mean by that.
It's probably a dimensional thing with probably 2 measures in it. Having 2 dimensions, 2 measures, I guess.
I have an idea. I wonder if, let's see, Christy, I'm going to share my screen and see if I can, or Christian. Custom report is always where I start too, Jordy, and see if we can do something. And that is, what if we had the amount of sales by channel? That should be a very simple bar chart, right? Change this to a bar. And I want to see this as a trellis. So also by country, we'll add that one in there and hit trellis mode, turn on channel. And is this a multi-bar chart, like small multiples? Is this what you mean, maybe? Or maybe of something else? This is a trellis chart effectively. This is built into. So I
pretty
just
cool.
right click on the one I want and pick this little trellis mode. We can see it by more countries if we want it as well. And this is built into, I don't have all the data, but we'd see as many countries as we need to. Quick comparison. So that's small multiples or trellis. Same access to
two measures. Yeah, see, that's what I meant probably. Yeah. 2 measures and then, yeah.
I have to come back to that. I've attempted stuff with the KPI designer of using overlaid charts, which is exactly my approach would have been in Qlik View.
Yeah.
2 bar charts, and then I hide the color of the other one, but the values are where I want. Kind of like a combo chart, but I'm overlaying stuff. Good for IBCS. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, IBCS is, they have standards for how charts should look like and such.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
it's pretty cool.
I need to look that up now. Great. Yeah, that's a good one. We can send you to, and Christian will reach out and get you to, send that as an official feature request, and we'll see what we can do with that.
Yeah.
Any for you, Jan-Willem?
No, I was also mentioning the write back function because of a customer of us asked it in Qlik and SaaS. So for our internal thing, I don't know something I'm missing right now.
No, you have covered like every extension and every chart that there is, of course, in Qlik. So it would be kind of hard to
come up with new ones.
We have to completely, create new ones. So that's harder, of course.
We try. I think the one that I found the most runway lately has been tiles. And that's because you can design stuff that looks like it's in a heavily designed website, like a really visual, beautiful table. It has some icons and different buttons, and lay it out and then stack it across. So I almost wonder if there's ways we can use that. We did it like a mortgage rate. So that's as close to financial I've seen right now. But I play around with that one a lot.
I used it 2 times now. Also for a different customer, they also show their products from different angles. So they have, for instance, shoes, and then you could see it at the front, at the sides, and the top, and the bottom. So people who need to see what their stuff is about, they have a better overview, and that's what we do with tiles. And I also created a mortgage-like example, which Vizlib has created, and I do like tiles even more when they did the big update where you could live see what you're doing. Because in the beginning, the editor was, of course, a bit limited. But right now, with all the new functionalities, this is great.
I duplicate this, and then we start editing this. Instead of using the whole property menu, which we were kind of running out of space, of course, we started doing this and allowing you to edit things here, move stuff around. You can see it live, or you can just see where things are. I want that speed gauge to be a bit bigger.
This should also be in the KPI designer. Would make design KPI designer also better.
And changing font sizes and all that good stuff. And we want to italicize and make this much larger and swap this out for Comic Sans. Please don't use that. You can use something else.
Why is that then?
Yeah, I don't know why it's there. We try to get them to take it out. But tiles, that is a fun one. And you can build those really beautiful things like this is where I was trying to find the mortgage rate one. That looks like it would be on a website, and it actually was, I think, replicated from something like that. It has a big continue button, has tool tips that pop up, give you more details. So it's a fun one to play with, and you can create some visualizations that I think you wouldn't even call a visualization. It's purpose built. I lost my camera somehow.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah, there you are.
Perfect. And then question, I saw Gantt chart. Lori wants numbers across the top instead of date. Luke, if you're listening, we'll send this one to you. He's the PM for Gantt. And imprinting for SaaS reporting. Well, we don't build imprinting. That's a Qlik thing. But what we are doing and working with them is on making the Qlik automation side. Ooh, it's drawing time. The Qlik automation reporting work with extensions in Vizlib so that you can build a report. Effectively, you build the entire sheet in a Qlik Sense app to look like the report page, a PDF, and you use Qlik application automation to generate reports.
Yeah.
I don't know what we'll hear, of course, at Qlik World coming up, but I don't think we're going to hear a lot about imprinting. I think we'll hear a lot about reporting and content creation in SaaS directly, and this imprinting term may fade away at some point. That's a good question.
I think so.
We still work with imprinting a lot, so don't get me wrong. It's just SaaS. Somebody's ringing me because I mentioned imprinting. I didn't. They did. Now it's for the giveaway. So last chance here before we wrap up. If you haven't typed in Baker Tilly, try it again just to make sure you're in. You can type it in any of the, if you're on YouTube or LinkedIn. And I'll move back over to the giveaway one in a second here, and we'll refresh that page so that we can give away some merchandise from Vizlib, and Climber's going to pack up a nice gift. I'm really interested in, I know you guys, Erica said you guys have a beanie.
Yeah, but this one is cooler.
Well, yeah, I really like this one. It hasn't been cold enough for me to wear it here, but I'm not complaining. So, or get a rubber duck for Vizlib. Yeah, we'll load this up with some more stuff, but we'll give you a voucher for the store if you use Baker Tilly in the chat. And then I'm curious to see what the mystery box from Climber will be as well. So I saw one or two more come in. Let's hit this.
Yeah.
We'll hit draw again. Alexis was our first winner. So Alexis, you can't win this time again, just in case. And Jason Klein, not a Vizlib employee, Climber employee?
Nope.
Oh, congrats, Jason.
Someone really.
The last time Jane and I ran this, it was Vizlib employees won. We had to just keep clicking the button. So it's nice to have this work out. We'll have some fun with this. I had a lot of fun. I think we covered a lot of ground here. Anything you guys want to mention? Places you want people to learn more about? I know that Climber and Baker Tilly have had a long relationship, right? So there might be blogs, interviews, and different things that we could point people to. But anything you want to share, or how are you guys going to be watching Qlik World in a few weeks? Are you got plans for that?
Probably on a big TV, I guess, here in the office, and then full time, some popcorn, and then have some snacks ready.
You miss connections, right? Like there's something to it. It wasn't really about the session so much as actually just getting to meet a bunch of people.
Just meet people. Yeah, that's too bad, but we'll see next year. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it, to get back in person. And I'm in the US, but I would love to come out and visit. And I have never been to the Netherlands, so I have a reason to go now. And maybe we have a little meetup or a little event, do a Qlik meetup. Would be somewhere around Baker Tilly office. That would be great.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome.
And then I'm definitely headed up to Sweden at some point too, so we'll figure that out.
That's good.
All right. Congrats, Jason. Yep, we'll get your information and reach out for your contact mailing details and get you something here. So I want to say thanks to everybody, and thank you, Jan-Willem, for joining us, and Jordy. For all your work that you guys are doing at Climber, and lots of good ideas shared today. So thank you all. I see a little private chat just jump in. Thank you. Oh, it's from Elizabetta. So, just covering all the bases here and make sure I didn't miss anything. But thank you guys again for joining Appy Hour. Thank you, Erica. She shared a link here.
Cool.
Check out climber.eu for more details on all the great work you guys do at Climber. And if you need an accountant, check out Baker Tilly. They're everywhere. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, bye.
Yep. We'll talk soon. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.